Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. So let's get started with the first one today from Brandon GFYS. Hey Aaron, I wanted to get your opinion on WWE thinking every top star needs to be a, quote, superhero character, like John Cena and now Roman Reigns. But people like Austin and Rock were the farthest thing from a superhero character. Aren't Ambrose and Bryan kind of like them now? Historically, WWE has done very well with the superhero character. It's a huge moneymaker for WWE. Hulk Hogan was arguably the biggest draw in the history of WWE. And then you had John Cena, who has done very well. The problem is that wrestling goes in cycles. And after a while, people get tired of the same thing and they want to change, and they get tired of the good guy always overcoming the odds. It does work. You look at the comic books, Superman, Batman, we all know how those movies and comic books go. In the end, the good guy always wins. He always beats all the bad guys, but Superman and Batman, those movies continue coming out and people keep going to see them. So superheroes are always going to be a big draw. But in WWE, with the fans, after a while, they want to see something different. And you look at the mid-1990s, WWE kept trying to create the new Hulk Hogan. They tried with Lex Luger, they tried with Diesel, they tried with Shawn Michaels, and it wasn't until they came up with a character like Steve Austin that was basically the exact opposite of Hulk Hogan. Once they did that, they found huge success because it was something different. So when you look at today's WWE landscape, with Roman Reigns, I'm not so sure that that's what people want. I don't know if people want another superhero character. WWE is looking for the next John Cena, but the reality is, in the reality era, as Triple H put it, fans might want more of a reality-based character that they can identify with. And that could be why fans are rejecting Roman Reigns, because they don't want a repeat of John Cena. They want something different. John Cena has been around for 10 years now. We've seen that whole superhero overcoming the odds thing way too much. So what, we're going to get another 10 years of that with Roman Reigns? I don't think people want that. I think they want a different kind of character on top. So time will tell if WWE continues to push Roman Reigns in that direction, or they do something different with the character. And as I talked about in a previous video, I think Roman Reigns should just go out there and be a badass. He should be more like Goldberg than John Cena. That's just my take on it. All right, this one comes from Dave451985. How much does having Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns for the WrestleMania title spot devalue the Rumble stipulation? Why even have that stip anymore? Well, the thing that bothers me is that Roman Reigns on Raw, I was fine with him accepting the match, agreeing to put the title shot on the line to prove once and for all that he is the most deserving to go to WrestleMania. I'm fine with that. I mean, in storyline, it kind of makes him look like an idiot. You got the WrestleMania title shot. You went through 30 guys. Why put that on the line when you don't have to? And the thing that really annoyed me the most was actually the commentary and them talking about how Roman Reigns was backed into a corner and he had no choice. Yeah, he had a choice. He didn't have to accept that match. So on one hand, I guess you could say that Roman Reigns is... he's got more guts than brains. They could use that as the excuse for why he agreed to do the match and put the title shot on the line. Does it devalue the Rumble stipulation? Certainly a lot of people out there feel that that's the case, but, Roman Reigns did win and he did volunteer to put up the shot, and, he's going to try and prove to everybody that he is the deserving guy. I prefer a logical storyline, as long as it's logical, and, the match is going to be very interesting. I'm extremely intrigued by this match. And I'm curious as to what direction WWE is going to go with this. So when you look at it from that perspective, whatever, why not put the title shot on the line? I mean, there's been times when the Money in the Bank winner put the briefcase on the line. Some might feel that devalues it. But if it's done right in a logical fashion and it creates interest, I guess I'm okay with it. All right, this one comes from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, take the crowd out of it. What did you think of Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 in ring and nothing else? Because I still think the match sucked. Well, yeah, there was nothing to it. Goldberg and Lesnar went out there and didn't really even attempt to have a memorable match. They just went out there and went through the motions, basically. Both guys were leaving the company. There was no real passion, no real reason for them. Why go all out and put your body on the line when you're going to be gone after the match? So to them, it wasn't really important to go out there and try to steal the show or, take any kind of risks. But to be fair to them, the crowd wasn't going to give them a chance. They could have gone out there and done all sorts of crazy things, and the crowd would have chanted, "You guys still suck," or "This match still sucks," that kind of thing. The fans knew Brock was leaving. They knew Goldberg was leaving, and, they resented that, and they let Lesnar and Goldberg know. But even if Lesnar and Goldberg put the effort in to the match, I still think the crowd would have crapped on it. All right, this one comes from Being Me 99. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Ambrose going for the IC title? Should Ryback get a shot for it since WWE seemed to have no direction with him? Well, it's really a shame for Dean Ambrose, a guy who was considered to be one of the future top stars in WWE. It's definitely a downgrade for him. And coming off the Wyatt feud, Dean Ambrose, I feel, has significantly cooled off. I really feel that the heel turn might do him good. But, for the time being, any kind of feud for WrestleMania is better than nothing. And at least it'll give Bad News Barrett something. I don't know if they're going to do that match at Fastlane or they're going to hold that off until WrestleMania and put Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett on the WrestleMania card. If Ambrose gets some kind of decent match at WrestleMania, it's better than nothing. It's better than him being in some kind of 8-man tag match where he's just a guy. So, at least he would be going for a title, even if it's the IC title. Ryback, as far as he goes, it's really interesting to see what WWE will do with Ryback. A couple months ago, they started pushing him again, and it looked like he was going to get back into the main event mix. And now he's cooled off as well. Ever since the whole firing angle, he came back. He was basically a non-entity in the Royal Rumble. He came out. He was eliminated. He really made no kind of impact in that match. And right now, there's no clear direction for him, what he's going to do at WrestleMania. So you could put Ryback, maybe do a triple threat. You could do that. I think there's also a decent possibility that Ryback will go in there with somebody like Kane or Big Show at WrestleMania, some kind of lame match like that, and then they'll have Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett. There's only so many spots for WrestleMania. So, what do I think about Ambrose in the IC title picture? Better than being stuck in some kind of 8-man tag team match. At least he's got some kind of one-on-one feud heading into WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from Chris Mace 39628. With the tension building between Goldust and Stardust, could we finally see the match between them at WrestleMania? Well, I guess now's the good time to do it because the tag team has been played out. You've really gotten as much as you can out of Goldust and Stardust as a tag team. And there's been all the talk about doing that match for years. My concern is that it's going to not be given high priority, and it'll end up being something like the pre-show match, or I don't know how many pre-show matches they're going to have. They might have a couple, for all we know. It'll end up just being a pre-show match. It'll end up meaning nothing. You would think that brother versus brother, that this would be a big deal, and WWE would push it strong for WrestleMania, but my gut feeling is, yeah, we'll probably see that match, but it's going to be stuck in the opening match, or even worse, one of the pre-show matches, and it's going to have no meaning. It's not going to have any kind of impact on the show. All right, this one comes from Yami Bakura. What do you think of Drew McIntyre debuting in TNA? Well, under normal circumstances, I would say TNA should avoid bringing in former WWE stars. But as far as the timing goes, the fact that they did it in the UK I think that was a smart decision to have him debut during the UK tour, and he can come in, get the big reaction, and he comes off as a star right from the very get-go. And a lot of people would say that WWE dropped the ball with him. He should have been a bigger star in WWE. And some time has passed since he was part of 3MB. If TNA utilizes him properly, I just don't have any confidence in TNA to market him correctly and, do what WWE failed to do with him. But, there's definitely the potential there, and TNA might be able to make something out of him if they really had a clue as to what they were doing. Drew McIntyre, definitely very talented, and a lot of people feel that he has something and WWE just failed to capitalize on it. Will TNA capitalize on it? I have my very serious doubts, but anything's possible. And if you're going to bring in a former WWE guy, he would probably be at the top of the list of guys to bring in. So we'll see what happens with him. All right, last question here today from Calvin Bowman 1. Hey Aaron, what was your favorite match from WrestleMania 14? Mine would have to be Shawn Michaels taking on Stone Cold for the WWF title. Please answer in video, thanks. Well, I agree with you. That was easily the best match at WrestleMania 14. Looking back at that WrestleMania, actually wasn't, from a technical standpoint, a very good show. Most of the matches were piss poor compared to today's product. But creatively, WWE was in a much better place at that time. The show was a lot more exciting in terms of the characters and the storylines. Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin, even that match to me was a disappointment in the ring, but we all know how Shawn Michaels was doing at that time, and he was completely broken down both mentally and physically. And Stone Cold, he was hurt. He was still dealing with a lot of injuries. So those guys were both at less than 100%, but they still went out there. It was about the characters and the storyline. And with Mike Tyson out there, it was still very entertaining. That match, because of the story, was very memorable. And, Undertaker and Kane was decent. Everything else on the card was just so-so at best. There were some bad matches, some matches that were just okay. But yeah, on a show that was overall not too spectacular, Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold easily stole the show just based off of the characters and the storyline. All right, that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Check out NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Fastlane. Subscribe if you haven't already at YouTube.com/NoDQCAW, Spring.me/AaronRiff. That's where you can submit questions. And I will see you guys next time.